Right. We're just going to hope for the best. If it don't work this time, we're not doing it again. When I was listening, me and Jesse, we did this yesterday, and I completely ballsed it up, and we did the full session. Basically, what this is today is which speaking with one of my clients, Jesse, who's been working with us, and just to catch up with him and see how things are going. And like I say, we did this yesterday, and it didn't bloody record the audio, so here we are again. So bear with us. Technology, eh? I'm supposed to be the one who's
Yeah,
button it up, but how it goes. So, yeah, so like I say, we're with Jesse today. Jesse, if you come just introduce yourself, mate, just a bit about what you do and where you're at, and yeah, just introduce yourself.
yeah, yeah, sure. So my name's Jesse Gonzalez. I own a couple of different mortgage companies, True Blue Lending here in Miami, Florida. We're also licensed in Georgia, and then I have a company, North Bay Capital. It's another mortgage brokerage, and we do stuff in California and Colorado. And we have some real estate licensing as well with a few of the states that we do loans in. And we do a lot of what would be called consumer purpose loans. So loans for like homeowner occupied stuff. So it's a little bit different than the way that you guys do things in the UK with mortgages, but they're loans for people who own homes. So primary residences, investment properties, second homes. And then we also do commercial and like large scale development working with private equity firms. And so, yeah, that's us. So we do arrange financing for both owner occupied and investment properties throughout the US and even some stuff internationally, depending on the deal.
Cool. So yeah, just a bit about like in terms of like lead generation, and obviously this is the thing that we help you with, and how things are obviously because a lot of people will be watching this are based in the UK, but I'm from my experience, I think it's a similar situation in terms of lead generation in financial services across the board, whether it be in the UK or in the US. But what's the state of play in terms of lead generation? Like, what were you doing before this, or what have you done in the past in terms of generating business?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we relied on was, and we still do, of course, the old fashioned methods are still, they're tried and true. So, of course, the referral, the word of mouth stuff, we do a lot of work with referral partners like financial planners when we're doing reverse mortgage business for seniors. And so we work with those referral sources. And then obviously on purchases, we use and work with a lot of real estate agents as referral sources. So, the realtor meets with the client. The client may or may not have financing put in place. They talk to us first, figure out what they're qualified for, and then they go out and shop for a home, right? And then you work your database if you are doing it the way you should, where then once you close the loan, then you're continuously following up with the client. So a lot of word of mouth stuff. Before COVID hit, we were doing a lot of seminars with senior citizens, so people over the age of 62, and we would focus on like the reverse mortgage program, which can be complex and a little bit misunderstood. And so it helps to be in person and do a seminar with them. But once COVID hit, that part of the business just completely dried up. That disappeared entirely. No, obviously nobody was going to restaurants and sitting shoulder to shoulder and listening for an hour on what a reverse mortgage is. So that's what we were doing is just, a lot of referral stuff, word of mouth, kind of knocking on doors and then doing some direct to consumer seminar stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Again, nothing that kind of just validates what my thoughts were in terms of the similarities between the state of, as I say, the UK way of doing things and the way that things happen in the US. It's a similar situation. I think a lot of firms and advisors are doing a lot in terms of lead generation.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, yeah, a lot of the stuff that's worked really well in the past, it still does work, but I think there's a more efficient way of doing things these days.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
is,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think one of the problems, obviously, with like referrals, like I say, a lot of the guys I speak to, they just rely on referrals, which referrals are great because obviously the trust is there, isn't it? But it's difficult to scale a business on something that's inconsistent. I think that's you can't really bank on referrals, can you? It's just they're what's the word? It's not sporadic. They just come in. And I don't think you can scale a business on that way, on a method that's just not very scalable, really. But
Yeah.
in terms of like how you found the process of working with us, Jesse, I know you've been quite active in the community. We've got the school platform where we house the
Mhm.
content, and obviously get involved in the community side of things and the modules and things. But how have you found the process in terms of what we've shown you in terms of the lead gen side of things?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been really good because, just interacting with other people, and obviously most of us in there, or all of us for as much as I know, we all, are, self-generating business, whether it be, advertising, doing Google ads, or, hitting LinkedIn, or doing seminars, or whatever it is that we're doing, we're in there self-gen business. And so, being able to collaborate with other people that are similar minded with AI and automation, and especially like the LinkedIn side of things is really good because, like what works for me and my business in the US, even though it may not directly translate to how you guys do things in the UK or really anywhere else. I mean, even in the US, doing loans in Florida is different than doing loans in California. It's a different client base. It's a different transaction. I mean, mechanically it works the same, but it's still different. And that's just in the US, so where you're at matters. So for me, it's been great because I can kind of pick up on things that other people are doing. You're posting a lot of stuff in there about, different, AI systems that are coming on. I like to look at that stuff anyways. And so it's nice because, we're all looking for a way with automation specifically to, streamline, save time, be more efficient with our time so that we can maybe go do things elsewhere that are going to bring in more business. And so for me, if there's other people that are trying out systems and things that I'm looking at too, I can, I personally have been able to kind of eliminate some things and then look at some other things that other people are doing. And so it's helped me just to see what others are doing. And then we collaborate in there and, support each other. And, when you're running a company, sometimes you can feel, not like you're a lone wolf, but, it can be lonely at times because you're out there striking, the direction of the company and, you're making all the decisions. So it's nice to see other people doing the same. And, we're all supporting each other, even though we're in similar industries, we support each other. We're not competing, we're collaborating, which is great. So yeah, that's what I've really gotten out of it. It's been tremendous actually for my company. So I've been super grateful for that.
Cool, cool. Yeah, like you say, I think that mindset of sharing what's working, because a lot of people, if they get some success by doing something, they'll kind of hold it to themselves and not want
Right.
to share it. They'll think this is my secret. I don't want. But I think it's like karma. The more you kind of give to people and share things, the more you get back, and it's a
Yeah.
collaborative approach. I think that it's having that mindset, which obviously most of the people in that group, that's the kind of mindset we're trying to instill into people, and that's the mindset that obviously you've got and a lot of people have, and it's just kind of it's exponential in terms of your growth when you just share things. It's like a mastermind in a way because we're all, like I say, we're all in a similar position. We're all obviously financial service businesses trying to grow in this new digital world, and we've all obviously signed up to this thing knowing that technology is there to help us, and we're all working on different things and finding out what's working and sharing bits, which is the thing. And like I say, obviously, the AI stuff is like my obsession, so I'm constantly feeding stuff into that, which
Yeah.
perfectly fits into the narrative of growing a business and having
Yeah.
time, like you said, to spend on the really kind of important things, the business generating activities.
Yeah.
AI can free up your time doing the kind of more manual tasks to free up your time to spend on the more kind of valuable tasks.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, in terms of like your results and things you've got from it, um, like yeah, what have you got out of it? What of it other than what you've mentioned there?
Yeah, so, like, we were using I think probably the main number one thing, and, we've gotten real revenue from it is the whole LinkedIn side of things. So, optimizing profiles, mine was kind of mishmash. So it's good, because it's like if you don't have a direction to move in, you're kind of just floating around out there. So for me, it really helped to hone in on, specific things. What is it that we want to be pushing out there on this channel? Like what do we want to represent as a
Yeah.
company? And not only just, how do we want to put ourselves out there, but like what would be the best way to show people what we do so that we can build our business. That's the whole point of being on LinkedIn and doing the whole LinkedIn outreach thing. So anyhow, it's been great. So that helped us kind of, hyper focus things in LinkedIn. And then, like we're using Sales Navigator and, I was doing manual tasking on reaching out to folks. And, that's super time consuming. I
Yeah.
mean, copy paste. It's not great. And it's not, you're not doing, there's systems that we can use where we can more personalize the outreach to folks. So, and get a better response than just, hitting connect, connect, connect. That doesn't really do much. So yeah, it's been great. You can see like there's a couple of metrics that I was looking at, and continue to monitor, but especially in the beginning to see like, hey, is this thing something that's valuable? Like, is it valuable to put time, energy, resources in? And you see your profile views go up. You see interactions with what you post go up. One thing, I posted in the school group, like, hey, this is what I'm doing to use, like Claude to write blogs. And then I'm reposting blogs. And you had mentioned, like, hey, have you looked into doing a newsletter? And I actually hadn't done that before. I didn't even know about it. And once we started doing a newsletter, like the views just skyrocketed on that and interactions really skyrocketed. So when you're building your contact list in there, and then you're doing things like newsletters and writing articles, it really, really helps. So we've got, like, specific focus on, attorneys and developers because that's a big part of our business, and, I had one guy reach out, and we closed a loan for him, and it's real money. We got, it was a 10K commission just on that one deal, and we wouldn't have gotten that had it not been for the LinkedIn outreach program that we've started through basically meeting you. So, I mean, that's real money. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
Uh, it's definitely worth it. We've received real response. And then we've got some larger development stuff. And, I'm talking about loans and deals that are large development in the, tens of millions to over 100 million that we're in active conversations with that, I mean, these things may not go anywhere or may not close, but at least there's a conversation started. And that conversation, those NDAs never would have been signed, never would have been sent out if it hadn't been for the LinkedIn stuff. So it's been huge. And then like just kind of, branching off of that, there were things that we didn't even know that we were lacking. Like I should have a CRM, you know what I'm saying? Like I should have something that hits my database of clients. So in all of these people that we've gotten in, it's generated. All right, so we have to now have a CRM that we could follow up with these folks and then continue those conversations in even a more focused way. So it's been good not only on immediate revenue and potential business, but also it's cleaned up. And kinda refine the way that we do things, in other areas of the business that we wouldn't have even known really, or known, like, everybody knows you gotta have a CRM, but, like, okay, what's the value of having a
Yeah.
CRM other than just having the thing? So, it's been huge. I mean, there's so much there, that you just don't know until you get into it. So, yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've got some real results, and we continue to go with it, so it's been good.
Cool. Good, good. But yeah, just a couple of things to pick up on what you've mentioned there in terms of, again, I think a lot of firms and advisors that I speak to, they're just taking on whatever comes their way in terms of business, and it's whatever kind of comes their way organically is not always the best stuff. Well, it's very rarely the best stuff. It's
Mm.
more stuff. But like you said there, you're connecting with deals, massive deals, which just don't come your way organically, do they?
No.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about LinkedIn specifically, because the big deals are on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So there's multiple different platforms you can put yourself on these days. There's TikTok, there's Facebook, Insta, But when I mentioned TikTok, that's the complete contrast to LinkedIn in terms of
Yeah.
the customer values and the people that are on there. I think it's obviously a younger demographic on TikTok, so the average person on there are earning a hell of a lot less than what they are on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
obviously you can generate leads on LinkedIn, on TikTok, and you can generate leads on uh, LinkedIn. Obviously, they're both a lead, but the quality of that lead from TikTok is going to be, and the value of that lead on TikTok is going to be a hell of a lot less than what it is on LinkedIn. I think, which is the beautiful thing about LinkedIn. It's where the money is, so you may as well be putting your attention where the money is, because at the end of the day, we're in business and we want to make money.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you've gotta focus in on, where your clients are at, and yeah, like, I mean, TikTok, there's clients there, but for what we do, if we're looking for large development deals like that, yeah, it's not gonna be, putting reels on TikTok or Instagram, even though we do that. I mean, we still shoot video, and I still put it on, all the platforms. We shoot one video and put it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So it helps. But yeah, if you hyper focus in on LinkedIn, there's some gold there for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing real business and you would just never get to them if you weren't like mining that platform. And it's great. It really is.
and like you said as well, it's not about just the initial kind of quick hits. You're
Yeah.
constantly building up an audience and building up a database of really good potential clients. Obviously,
Mm.
ready right now, but you've still got them in your world. You're building up a database consistently and showing up in front of them consistently. Because with a lot of these guys, the time might not be right now for them, but it might be in 3 6 months. And if you've not have garnered that initial connection, obviously they'd just be completely out of your world and out of your scope of reality of taking that on as a client. But because you've got them in your world, that time might come in 3 6 months.
Yeah.
So you're constantly, like you said, building relationships and connections with these people, because it does take time. And we call it in marketing like touch points. It usually takes like between 7 and 11 touch points for someone to
Mhm.
be in the kind of mind frame to do business. And those touch points, just somebody seeing you and you basically show up. So obviously, yeah, you're doing that over time. So a lot of people, I think, they expect results straight away, and it might not come, and they'll think, "Oh shit, this doesn't work. Let's give it up."
Yeah.
But the stuff that you do today could take 3 6 months or even a year to actually turn into business. But if you're not consistently building an audience and showing up in front of them, that's just never going to come. If you just give up at that first hurdle, which a lot of people do, I think. Uh,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, follow up, consistency is key in any of our businesses. And, you can't just set it and forget it. It doesn't work. I mean, there are some things that you can do like that, but, hands on is required at a certain point in time. And then that's where people get to know who you are and get to trust you is the continuous follow up. And I'm not talking chasing people down. I mean, when you engage with people on LinkedIn, and it's a real conversation that you've started. You're talking back and forth. And it's been my experience that people will respond to a connector message and they'll say, "Hey, I have a lot of people that are asking for connections. Here's my calendar link. Let's talk." And you
yeah,
can book a calendar link. This person is somebody you never would have talked with. This could be a high level executive at a company, and maybe you'll never do business with that person. Like you may not close a purchase money transaction with that client or a refinance or whatever it is that the mortgage side that you guys are doing. But to have a conversation with somebody in another industry who's a decision maker, it's like,
yeah,
what's the downside in that? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I mean, you will gain something from that if it's current business or potentially learning something. And you never know who that person knows. And so it's just one of those things where that's the thing for me with the LinkedIn and working the LinkedIn. I have hundreds of conversations going with all sorts of different people in similar industries because we're focused on, attorneys and developers in the real estate side. Um, but like some of them don't need anything. I have a friend of mine and he always likes to ask people, "Hey, what's your low hanging fruit?" And so I like to ask people like, "Hey, what do you have in your business right now that you're finding is kind of your sweet spot?" And you change up the question or whatever, and people open up and they'll tell you what they've got going on. And then it's like, oh, okay, there's a little window into that what this person is dealing with on a daily basis. And I've also found that it helps because when you personalize somebody, especially in outreach, it takes away, like, people don't like cold calling because there's nothing there like
Cold.
a,
It's like
you
cold.
know, yeah, you're not together, and so you're nervous or whatever, and the fear of rejection and all that stuff. But when you have a connection with somebody on something, it makes it completely different. And then the reach out is a lot easier, and things just will flow more naturally. Not to
Yeah.
say that cold calling isn't valuable, but you get what I'm saying. It just
Yeah.
it's a fantastic thing, is all I'm saying. And we're out there trying to, um, promote ourselves, promote our business, but also just day to day, it's great to link up with people and just see what they're doing. And also at the same time, you're furthering your business and you're getting better at what you're doing. So I mean, I could go on and on about the conversations, but it's super important. And I promise you, if you work it, it'll be good for you. You'll close business and you'll get better as a business owner for sure.
100%. And like I said, I think it's the analogy I use to people. It's like networking, like going to networking events, but it's you're not having to get off your backside morning, and it's pretty much you can really tailor the people that you put yourself in front of, so you just connecting with your most perfect, most valuable, ideal client. Like with networking events in the physical world, you sat in front of a room full of people where one or two might be your ideal client if you're lucky,
Right.
and you spend in a good few hours. Well, you probably spend a half an hour to get to the place, a few hours there, half an hour back. So that's like half a day gone just to sit in front of, be put in front of like two of your ideal client. Where with this,
Yeah.
we're putting you in front of literally thousands of your ideal client every single month on autopilot without having to get off your ass in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be. It's a beautiful time to be doing business. I think with all this technology that we've got, because like I said, 20 years ago, that option just wasn't there.
Right.
It's been so much more efficient when you can leverage these tools, which a lot of people obviously are not doing, but these tools are available, which is
Yeah.
my job to educate people on this stuff. But yeah, and so final question, mate. I'm hoping you'll answer this in a positive way because I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't. But would you recommend the course?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that really it can benefit everybody. If you're looking to scale your business, if you're looking to join with like-minded people, it'll definitely be a benefit to you. I've closed real business. I have real business in the pipe as a result of doing this. It's definitely well worth the time. And you can always chat with me in the group. And, who doesn't like a guy with a big mustache? Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
no, that's still recommended.
yeah, well, appreciate you coming on, Jesse. Again, I know but this is the second time round, but yeah, really appreciate your time. And for anybody, if you want to give the course a go, there's a QR code that we've got in this top corner, and you can get a week's free trial on it if you scan that. I'll put the link below, but it's through a platform called School, but I'll put the link below. But yeah, appreciate that, Jesse.
Awesome.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good.
Enjoy spring break. Spring break in Miami, isn't it? Check it out.
Yep, yep, there's a mob of people out here, it's pretty crazy, it's
Yeah,
busy.
lots of young girls in bikinis. I hope.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
fine with me.
cool. Appreciate it, Jesse. Thank you, mate. All right, I'll speak to you. Cheers,
Sounds
buddy.
good. Alright, later.